you literally will stand in front of it. There'll be a giant television screen. Usually you'll have a mic stand where your script is. And in the studio that we record at, the director and the engineer all sort of sit behind a glass screen, and you sit there and they play the beats. And when that last beat goes, that's when you know that you start talking because you watch the mouth glass. And you do like 3 or 4 takes per line by yourself with the screen.
It's a combination of having a visual, being able to listen to the original Japanese performance, paying attention to what the director, guides you to do, and then your imagination for everything else.
Thank you.
You, sir, are ready? Yes.
What are your guys' favorite episodes that you did in Naruto?
Our favorite episodes?
Yeah, out of all of the episodes that you guys have done, what is your favorite one to watch, or just favorite one that you did?
I like the one where Shikamaru and I had the first real fight. I think that's cool. Yeah, I think that's cool.
You mean with?
And for me, I think it's still. I still go back to. I think it's episode 30 where we're in the Force of Death, and we're fighting the grass ninja, who then turns out to be Orochimaru and a giant snake. And you watch that show, and it's like they spent the budget of an entire season of Naruto on the animation for that one episode. It's so cool. I will always go back to that one. Green baseball. Yeah.
All right. This has nothing to do with Naruto, but I know they started filming Kirikaro Mao season 3 in Japan, in April. Are you guys going to be? Are they going to planning on releasing the rest of the second season as well as the first season?
Here's I know exactly where you're going with this. Here's the problem that arose with that. We loved doing Kirikaro Mao, and we would have still kept doing it. Jenny on went on her, and nobody got the license to keep distributing Kirikaro Mao in the United States. When we were in Japan in April, we actually saw it on TV, and it made me cry because I didn't know we'd ever get to do that. It's still bouncing around. I think I don't know, Funimation might pick up the rights to distribute it in the United States, but they were waiting to see how DVD sales of the last stuff that was released did, and based on that they might. But as of right now, nobody's called us about doing it. We'd all love to do it though.
So are you going to do the voice for Yuri on that if they actually do pick it up again?
I would hope so, unless they decide absolutely that they need to do it in Texas or that they need to do it in Canada. I would hope that they come to all of the original actors.
But you don't really know because you're not an actor. You're not the producing partner.
You all.
Do you think Orochimaru looks like Voldemort from Harry Potter?
I think Orochimaru looks like Voldemort from Harry Potter.
Entire Harry Potter canon is based on that.
He does, kind of. All the way back. Hands up, you're just bracing yourself and raising it. Okay.
I have two. First of all, I think what is the difference between recording for anime versus where it's a different language versus recording for a regular cartoon or a video game where it's in English?
Okay, well, the major difference is if you're doing an original animation that has never been voiced before, you don't have to worry about mouth flap, you don't have to worry about timing, you just get to create the performance from scratch based on your imagination and what you and the director agree that is the correct sort of track for that character.
So is it usually animated by then? Or is it
No, when you're doing original animation, usually you record first and then they take the entire recorded episode or whatever that is that you're working on and then send it to the illustrators. And then 8 months later it comes back and then they sync it all up and it all sort of is happy and gets created sort of as a whole.
And it's sort of like that for video games.
That's true also for video games, although sometimes with video games, because a lot of it is created, the animation a lot of times for video games is done through computer-generated images rather than like hand-drawn pieces. Sometimes they will already have some of the computer-generated images for, characters moving, but they're not completely rendered, so it will be like, sort of a
Skeleton.
like a skeleton of the image of the character moving, and so you kind of see how long you have to talk. You see the head moving and whatever that is that you're going to follow. So it sort of just depends on a per project basis as to how far along in the process the product is. But when you're doing dubbing, I mean, if you're doing like a Japanese dub, it's already been out, it's already been aired in Japan and other countries, and so literally you are having to match the exact image on screen for the timing and the emotion and like the previous actor's performance.
Second question for Yuri. Since most of us just found out you speak Japanese, how did you learn, and would you recommend it for the rest of us?
It all depends on what you want to do. I was in college and I studied some of the languages because I lived overseas a lot. You know, I spoke a couple of the languages, and I have been obsessed, like maybe a couple of you out there. I've been obsessed with the Japanese culture.
Yes.
Maybe one or two of you like that.
Right.
Oh. No, I'm like, oh my God.
And it had always, I've been obsessed with that, and so I thought, oh well, if I want to learn to speak another language, why don't I try Japanese? And I sort of fell in love with it. In college, I did my junior year abroad in Japan at a Japanese school, and then after I graduated in the United States, I went back and worked in Japan for a couple of years for the Japanese government, and that's how I learned to do it. Whether it's right for you, and it all depends on if you're interested enough to do it. A lot of people ask, well, what are you gonna, what is the purpose if you learn to speak Japanese? What kind of job are you